Things I want to ask you about, because you're probably a little bit more on the inside or have more sources than I have. I thought that the word on the street that maybe WrestleMania 34 was going to be Brock's last show, and all of a sudden he goes to Saudi Arabia and he's working Roman Reigns in a cage, and now I guess he's still with the company. Now, did Brock resign, or is he going to go to the MMA? Do you know what he's going to do?
He did resign. He did resign, and I think he is going to MMA.
Oh, so he's going to do both.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Now, that was not an official statement. WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross reported, that's bullshit. I ain't reporting nothing. I'm saying that the word on the street, which you know how that goes, Steve.
Yes.
It could be spot on or it could be absolutely horse manure. But the word I heard, he signed a contract extension length, I don't know. I've heard some say short-term extension. I've heard some say it's a normal what you'd expect extension. I don't know, and I don't care because it's none of my business. But I think he's still WWE, and I think he's going to, the UFC needs him really bad right now. I know some of the MMA people that would like your show, and I'm sure a lot of them do, probably, are distressed now that I mentioned that. But, the climate in the UFC right now is not really overly healthy, even though they're making a profit. The business we know from a talent standpoint, they're short of star power. And unless it's a major fight, sometimes they're not going to get your money on pay-per-view just because it's a UFC. They used to. They had more depth on top, and they have more, name main events, sometimes two. So Lesnar will pop a big number for them that they need for their bottom line. If he wins, they get another one out of him. If he loses and it's close, then they'll get a second one probably. So I'm sure he's win or lose in his debut back. They probably got 2 fights planned for him. And there may be this kind of booking. And maybe they're feeding him to somebody. I don't have any idea, man. I know that sounds awful weak to say Brock Lesnar get fed to somebody, but the sense I'm making of that and the way I mean it is being put as somebody that's a higher level in that heavyweight division that, perceived that as such to get that guy a good win. Because the bottom line of it is we both know whoever beats Lesnar is going to get a good win. Would you agree?
Well, yeah. If you can beat Brock Lesnar and put that notch on your gun, I mean, that's a hell of a damn win. And the thing about Brock is what I like about Brock. Well, he's a very good friend of mine first and foremost. But man, when he shows up, or if they announce that he's going to fight somebody, I'm immediately interested.
Me too.
And, I guess I've known Brock for a long time, but I mean, even if I didn't, because I'm a MMA fan and I'm a pro wrestling fan, he's just one of those guys. And, I think, you would agree because you were watching him way back in the day when he first came in the company, probably before he got in the company, but.
Oh, yeah. I was going to tell you the story there, Steve. Me and Briscoe started recruiting. Jerry Briscoe was instrumental in getting him signed because Brock's college wrestling coach, Jay Robinson, was a teammate of Jerry Briscoe's at Oklahoma State when they wrestled for the Cowpokes out there. So they'd known each other their entire adult lives. So I saw somebody send me something on Brock, and we started, and Jerry was already on it, and so nonetheless, we made a contact there, and we could have signed him. He was willing to sign with us for what we had on the table after his junior year. He did not win the NCAA Division I title his junior year. He won his senior year. But the senior year came about because we made a deal with the coach that we would not make him an offer for him to leave school a year early because they felt very strongly that if he came back, he'd win a national championship, and he did. And as I thought was my mindset was signing a national champion has more credence than signing a guy that didn't wrestle for the national title, didn't wrestle his senior year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Having this guy's a former NCAA champion, that's got a little sizzle to it. It's real. Feel that, So, but I think he's a big star, man. He's in a phenomenal position. He has leveraged and earned and worked his ass off, Steve. He's got to be. The 7-figure numbers are just popping out like crazy here, there, and yon. Because he's got to be do it very well. So I'm very happy. I'm proud of his business acumen, quite frankly. And I know he's got good people around him, obviously, but at the end of the day, he's the boss. He makes the final. So, and I'm proud of what he's doing. And more power to him. And something else, this Andre movie came out, right? So everybody's talking about Andre for a while, and I think Andre was a part-time wrestler. He wrestled in a lot of territories for a week here and a week there. He came to Mid-South twice a year. That's it. For a week. So he wasn't on TV all the time. If people act like Lesnar's on television, it's a cardinal sin. I don't get that. He's smart. He's not going to sit on the shelf too long. He's going to extend his shelf life, which he's doing. I think it's brilliant. If I was a guy and I signed to come back to WWE, I would say I want a limited schedule. I don't want to be overexposed. I'll work, whatever. But there's ways to do that to protect yourself. Look, Chris Jericho's a good example. He never leaves long enough to forget him. I saw him in Saudi.
Well, what do you think about then how do you go about in the UFC if they're kind of like, they're a shoot version of what we do, especially way back in the Attitude Era and in the days before the Attitude Era, a serious product. How do they go about building stars?
Look, I'm a big UFC fan, as are you. I got friends that work there. I got all the respect in the world for what they built. And I'm troubled about what I see because they don't have their big names are gone, and for various reasons they can't predict what Conor McGregor's going to do. And that deal was not. I thought all along that was a big. They shot an angle, and I've heard it just not true. He's been very unhinged. I'm sure he's just richer than hell, and he don't care. When a guy who has nothing and literally fights, figuratively fights. Figuratively and literally fights his ass off, and he becomes wealthier than whatever. Like my dad would say, he's richer than 8 foot up a bull's ass. So Conor McGregor is that, at least. How do you react? How are you prepared for that kind of money and fame? So I guess good decisions, bad decisions can be made for anybody, but it seems like for guys that come into something big, they then perceive it's never going to go away, it can never end, and they'll never be broke. And no, that's true.
Hey, what are you thinking about that upcoming fight with DC, Daniel Cormier, who's one of my favorites, with Stipe Miocic, who also I really like as a heavyweight champion? That fight is on the way. What do you think about that?
I don't know the Stipe. I've never met the gentleman. I follow his fights, and I enjoy watching him fight. Now, DC, on the other hand, I've met many, many times. I consider him a friend. The fact he was an old wrestler, he was a Mid-South wrestling fan too. Oh, absolutely, man. From Lafayette, Louisiana, he's a big wrestling fan. Yeah, so always thought that was cool, and he's one of my favorites, quite frankly. I think he's a hell of a broadcaster.
Absolutely.
He's a good storyteller. He knows what a soundbite is. He tells you what time it is, how to make the watch, all that good stuff. But I think that this will be. I think that maybe DC has had issues at 205. Make him wait. He's a big guy. He's thick. That's just what the good Lord gave him, man. And so maybe that 205 is attainable. Obviously it is, but is it healthy? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. All I know is that, not having to make a 205-pound weight limit and still working on it, doing everything you normally do. Train as hard as you can, because this guy's going to be a really tough out. But I think maybe DC goes into it a little stronger, a little bit more vitality, strength, a little bit bigger. And I think that'll pay off for him. So I can't pull against Daniel Cormier. I like him too much, and it's not a great decision if you're a bookie or a gambler. But he's a buddy. You want to pull for him in all cases. So I'm pulling for DC.
I'm looking forward to this fight just because I really like both guys, and like you said, I'm a huge DC fan. But Stipe he fought a smart fight when he fought. Jesus Christ, I always mess up that guy's name. The dude that was so powerful that knocked Alexander over him, almost knocked his block off. That fight, he fought that guy with a lot of intelligence, and I think both of these guys are such smart fighters. It'll really be a chess game. They're not going to be playing checkers. And DC, supreme wrestler, but also, man, a dangerous right hand. And this is me coming from a pro wrestling background. I just think both these guys' fight IQ is off the charts. And so just to see how they go about assessing each other, feeling each other out, and then how whatever their strategy is, I'm looking forward to see, because I just think it's going to be a high level fight between two champions, and DC moving up back to heavyweight. That's going to be interesting to me. And man, if that fight doesn't sell a shitload of tickets, there's something wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a very desirable star-packed main event, and the question of can DC function as a heavyweight better or less than, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to come down to this: the guy that works the hardest in training camp and rolls into that son of a bitch is more ready than he's ever been is going to have the odds-on chance to win, in my view, because I think they're very evenly matched in a lot of ways. But I just really believe that DC is going to be stronger and have more vitality because he's not on that damn weight-cutting bench. I'm not a big on that weight-cutting stuff, man. I'm not a fan of the whole process. So there's a joke there somewhere from my fat ass. I get that. But seriously, it's just like, damn. It's just, this looks so unhealthy. And in a lot of ways, there's so much mental anguish and it's psychologically challenging.